Hi guys, I'm back. So my geekiness coming out. I figured, I should probably review the Harry Potter books, considering they are my favorite and have been since the 2nd grade. I figured I'll go backwards, just to be different, and the fact that Deathly Hallows Part 1 just came out, and might I just add, I'll probably be doing a review on that one after I see it again. I thought it was extremely close to the book, one of the closest by far. So, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Definitely, it's not my favorite out of the series, but it's in the top. I know you're probably like, how's their top one? There's only 7. But, so, I've been looking online, and I've been reading what people have been thinking of the movie, and how people are comparing it to the book, and I realized a lot of people started venting about the book, and they were like, oh, someone said she wastes J.K. Rowling wastes 100 pages, and I was like, what? They're like, yeah, she wasted a bunch of pages on the camping, and it's not needed to know information. Really? See, even though you may feel like nothing's going on, if you go back and you reread, like, this whole, middle section here, you'll realize that there's little hints and clues on what's, going to happen later. And, I can understand, if you're not fully immersed in the world of Harry Potter, you're not going to fully, enjoy reading of how they're camping, and, you're gonna want to be in the action, to be in Hogwarts as, Neville and Ginny and Luna and all them are battling, the Carrows and fighting off Snape and, all his rules. But the book's called Harry Potter, not Neville Longbottom. So, well, I must say it's pretty cool that Neville finally gets his chance to shine. But, you get to go through the process of Harry just, him being like, oh, I know what the Horcruxes are, I know what they are. Slowly figuring that out. It's, what good would it be if J.K. Rowling was just like, Harry found the Horcruxes, he defeated Voldemort, the end. Obviously, the book is gonna have, it's gonna be big. It's gonna, but I didn't have very many critiques about it. I think it's just I'm a bit prejudiced in loving Harry Potter. One thing that bothered me was I kind of wanted to know more about the life and lives of Albus Dumbledore. Even in the movie, it wasn't mentioned, ever. Maybe once or twice. But, I just feel as though that learning more about Dumbledore, I know it wasn't relevant to the plot or anything really other than what we learned, but I don't know, I just always wanted to know more about Dumbledore. One of my favorite parts, I don't even know why it was my favorite, but it was when Harry was in Voldemort's mind, when Voldemort was thinking about how he killed the Potters and how Harry destroyed them, and he's looking outside the window, and you can see James making little puffs of smoke for Harry, colorful puffs of smoke, and it was it was just nice to finally get a good image, even if it was short and dark, because you knew it was coming. A good image of, how Harry's parents loved him when, but it's definitely, I thought the wand lore, I wish there was more in depth about the wand lore and the Voldemort's and Harry's cores being from the same Phoenix, Fox, and I kind of felt as though the ending was a bit rushed, but I mean, rereading it, I was thinking, you know, I was like, oh, I really like I like the turnout, shit, like how it was written, and I was like, oh, it's kind of rushed, and you don't really get a feel for things, but rereading it, I realized that, you know, you can't fit too much into an hour when you're following Harry around, like, you know, like he has an hour to do this, and then half an hour to do that, and before Voldemort starts battle again. And so I guess it wasn't too rushed. I mean, it's the feel of the battle. Battles aren't gonna flow smoothly. It never happens like that. But I like seeing Ravenclaw's tower. You know, the passwords, the riddles to get into I think that is quite brilliant. The only thing I never liked, this is about the series in general, is you never get to see where Hufflepuff is. Not, if I recall correctly. Obviously you get to see where Gryffindor is, you get to see where Slytherin is when they take the Holojuice potion in their second year, and now you get to see the Ravenclaw tower. But I don't know, I didn't like how Snape was killed. Although it further proves that Voldemort was truly psycho and didn't know like what he was doing. Because if he followed correctly, if he had gotten the right information, he would have realized that Severus Snape was never truly the master of the Elder Wand that Malfoy was, Draco Malfoy. And sorry. I don't know, I just kind of wish he wasn't killed. When Hedwig died, oh, I remember reading that for the first time. I was so upset. I was like, but you know, it's a bird. Kind of expected her to live the entire way through. But it was so sad. I mean, it's Hedwig. How can you not love Hedwig? And then Dobby. I saw it coming, but it's still, oh, poor Dobby. What did he ever do? But, the one that made me slam the book and walk away, which, I mind you, I've only done once before, and that was when Sirius died. And why'd you kill Fred? When I read that Fred died, I was like, no, he's just unconscious, and then I turned the page, and it was like, his last smile etched upon his face, and I was just like, oh. And I slammed the book shut, put it down, and I cried. That's right, cried. Over a book. Over this book right here. And then I feel as though, in a way, that J.K. Rowling could have set up a similar situation with Lupin's kid, Remus and Tonks, because it's like Harry. You know, his parents were killed in the First War together, and Teddy's parents were both killed in the Second War with only a godfather. But I guess it is different, but I feel as though that, I don't know, you make some good fan fiction at least. So I feel like I've been rambling this entire time, which, when you get me on the subject of Harry Potter, I ramble. It's hard to shut me up. Well, considering this is now a 9-minute video, I think I'm done. But yeah, I suggest read the book before you see the movie, although they are pretty similar. 6 movies sucked. Read the 6th book, I beg you. Yeah, I'll be reviewing the movie soon. Okay, bye.